Hi, my name is Gina Greco. These are my strategies for the student Jack who has autism. So I'm doing this from the perspective of like a kindergarten teacher, first grade, around that age. And the three strategies that I chose to talk about today were to 1, create structured daily routines, 2, use visuals in the classroom, and 3, keep the environment predictable. So, going back up to create structured daily routines, you want to keep the environment as predictable as possible. For a student with autism, anything that's unpredictable, that could mean stress. You want to keep routines the same, come in the morning, do what they got to do, circle time or story time on the floor, whatever happens next, you have your routine for the day. You also want to prepare for the unexpected, like fire drills, schedule changes, staff changes, like having a substitute or something. Any change you want to prepare for. And if you can, always make sure the student is aware of these changes. Sometimes things like fire drills, or, if it's not a drill, obviously you can't really prepare for that, but if you can, make the student aware of any possible changes. Also, under creating structured routines, time management is really important. Sometimes children with autism, they don't have really a concept of time or timelines, so keeping a strict schedule and enforcing time management is really good. And also working with an aide or a para. Sometimes, kids could be mean. Kids bully and leave other kids out. So sometimes a child with a learning disability or autism could be left alone, or just be left out. So having like a para or an aide work with them all the time, like having at least one person that's always going to be with them, is really good to keeping their environment predictable and stress-free. So, all right. And then we have number 2, using visuals in the classroom. A lot of autistic students are visual learners, so keeping pretty much everything visual in the classroom will help them a lot. Things like calendars, schedules, task boards, or birthday boards, pretty much anything, have it visual. Also, things like, how sometimes in classrooms, or all the time in classrooms, when teachers decorate, the cork board or the chalkboard or something with the paper and the door, doing things like that is also great. And just having any other educational visuals, like literally anything to display, like maybe the ABCs or addition, pretty much anything. And then the third strategy, keeping the environment predictable. It's like the first one, keeping routines in the classroom predictable. You want to keep the actual classroom predictable. So the environment should be structured pretty much the same every day. Limit anything also that may cause sensory issues. So, involving scents, textures, lighting, or sounds. Taste shouldn't really come into play in the classroom, except for at lunch. But yeah, really in the classroom, scents, so candles, lighting, you want to pay attention to that. I know a lot of teachers that like to keep their lights dim and use like little fairy lights around the ceiling to just keep it like a nice ambient lighting. And sounds, like what was an example I read? Locker slamming, or maybe chalk against the chalkboard, anything like that. Those can cause sensory issues. So to help with that, supplying the classroom with fidgets and sensory toys, Those have become really popular over the past few years. I like playing with them myself. So those are really good to keep in the classroom. Obviously, sometimes they can cause distractions to students, so maybe keeping them in a designated area or for a certain time of the day. But yeah, those can be really helpful. That also goes along with keeping a welcoming and warm environment. The classroom should be a safe place and a happy place that a student with or without autism wants to be. Like, they want to be there. They should be happy there. And also under the environment, considering the seating arrangement of the classroom, one would be probably to not move students around too often. I remember back in my days in school, sometimes teachers every month would just, switch up the seating arrangement, whatever. But that could actually stress out some students with autism because it's changing. They're used to being in one spot, used to sitting around these students for however long, and then they're being moved. That can cause stress. Also, with seating, like I said before, kids can be really mean. Kids can be bullies. You want to be aware of which kids could be doing that, and keep them separate. So those are my 3 strategies for Jack, and I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you so much.